Well, the FAA has now declared that the Super Bowl is a no-drone zone, saying that unmanned aircraft flying within 32 miles or this 32-mile radius of Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California on Sunday could face deadly force. It's quite comical. Anything they do to shoot this thing down out of the sky, whatever means, okay, chances are the most damage done is going to be on impact when it hits the ground. And you got to look at what they damage with the shot. If you're going to use a bullet, it's actually smaller than using a beanbag, so to speak. And it depends on the drone. But in this situation, they want no one around. If you're at 33 miles away, you're safe. There goes their signature around this whole thing. Them declaring the airspace. In the time frame here is 2 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, February 7th. They put out a 20-second video explaining their rule. And then I wonder what happens if somebody flies a remote control helicopter in this area. So we're going to say, oh no, it's a no-fly zone, period, right? That's what I would say. They're calling it a no-drone zone, just to specify on the drone. But what I've come to find out is if when you go across this country and you want to try to find some of the most beautiful places and share it with everyone and show them what it looks like, they will not allow us to do so. That's right. They will not allow you to fly in none of the beautiful national parks across this country. None of them. Not a one. You have to go to the outskirts or the perimeters or to other beautiful places that are not deemed a national park just to be able to fly and get beautiful shots and share it with everyone. And they're not putting zoom on these cameras whatsoever. They're not giving us that ability. Just like the situation we come to find ourselves in with the guys out here that are trying to live stream to YouTube specifically and trying to find a camcorder to do it. We've been trying for years. And every time I say this, people are like, oh, there's a way. I know there is. And no one ever comes through. They say they have it. They leave links. People bring up programs and all this other stuff. But as far as just getting the camcorder that has the app that allows you to connect like I do to Ustream, just that simple. It's like somebody's not allowing it. And if you can find one, I'm begging someone to just drop the link or just tell me, give me the model number where I can find it. That it definitely will allow you to, because I've even been in the stores and seen the box where it says YouTube ready and said, all right, here we go. And it's not the case. It does not have the app and will not let you connect through it. Tried them all right there in the store. So why is it that it would seem companies would be all over this? The camcorders would be jumping all over at the opportunity to connect to YouTube, just like with Ustream. But for some reason, none of them are. I find that hard to believe. It almost makes me feel like it's being done on purpose, because they don't want you on the ground live streaming with a Zoom, showing everyone everything. They sure don't. And they sure as hell don't want to give you a camera in the sky with a Zoom, because then we can look deep into their territory, deep behind enemy lines. They don't want that. Even sitting on the perimeter in a neutral spot, in a legitimate spot where you can fly, like out at Area 51. Yeah, the whole ridge, Tikaboo, all that is legitimate for now. For now. But see, they won't give you the technology to even have a chance. So with your freedom, you see, there's going to be all these restraints they're trying to throw on your freedom to be able to do anything. Now, I would say, yeah, flying drones immediately around the stadium, probably not a good idea. If it's going to happen, you should talk to someone, get some permission, go about it the right way. Use your brain. Okay? Let's go down and talk to them. Of course, everyone's going to see a drone in the sky and everyone's going to freak out. But if it's known by security, known by everybody, then it's going about it the legit way. And they should allow you to do so if you follow the right steps. Okay? But they just want to control the whole thing. If you guys remember, All-Star Game Cincinnati, I did a video, did it one of the backup channels, and I showed my drone flight from Cincinnati going right over the bridge, right through these big golden balls that sit on top of the bridge, right toward the stadium, and right up to it, right across the river, right up to it. You could see right down into the stadium, but I never went over the stadium. I stayed over the water, but you could see right down into it. Beautiful shot. Oh no. Soon as that got put out, they lashed out at me. That, oh no you don't. Oh, you know you're not. You're not flying that drone at the All-Star Game. Did a huge piece on the news here locally, specifically aimed at me. And you know what they did? At the beginning of the All-Star Game, they flew their drone on the exact same flight that I took between the balls on the bridge, right toward the thing, and did exactly what I did. Jacked my idea, told me I was not allowed to do it, only they could. You see, instead of mine was in the air, they would take it down, and you would get charged. Even if I launched from another state, can you believe that? Across the river in Kentucky. If I would have launched from there, they would have taken action too. So they're trying to, what's going to happen when someone has no idea that a game or an event's going down and they're within a 30-some mile range here and don't give a damn about the game. And they're just flying the drone in their backyard 10 miles away, 20 miles away. And they get in trouble for doing so on their own property. I'm telling you, this is about clamping down. A 32-mile radius is just ridiculous for any smaller drones or anything like that. You couldn't even fly it that far. You would have to be within a mile. It would have to be within your line of sight. And even if you did guide it, you would have to have a good connection. And if you got to a mile and still had control of the drone, you'd be lucky. So to take this thing this far out is just suspect to me. They want no one seeing anything, recording nothing, right? This is what they're doing. It's about control. Okay, and if anything was to ever happen where a drone flew into somewhere and it had some kind of device or something on it, you know who would be behind it. You already know. You already know. If you have to question it, you ain't awake. It's these same groups behind all these events, pulling it off, time after time. And let's just hope they haven't got a big one in the works at one of these games, one of these bowl games here in the future. Whether it's this year, down the road, we've all seen it foretold in movies, this and that. And if something was to go down, they surely don't want anyone within 30 miles of even having a shot at seeing what happened. But I'll remind you this. When the stadium blacked out, you guys remember that? When half the stadium blacked out, covered that in multiple videos. I was watching off of a live cam across the city that showed the stadium. And right before it happened, we caught an object above the stadium. You call it a UFO, you call it whatever you want. It appeared lit up over top of the stadium in a no-fly zone. Was not a helicopter. Appeared. The lights went out and it was gone. And half the stadium exactly the lights went out down the middle. It was crazy. And to know that object popped up above that stadium when we caught it on film remains a mystery. But see, if we would have never had that footage from a distance, getting that vantage point, we would have never known that it was sitting in the sky above it. And it's real. This is a no-fly zone, so if you see any activity like that again from here on out, remember, those cams in the city that are looking that way or around the stadium are key in picking up telltale signs of what's going on. Okay? So, wanted to get that all out there and let it be known. Anyhow, when it comes to all this stuff with the drones, they say if you're buying a new one, you got to register it. They're saying that if you had one before the beginning of this year or whatever, that you have till the 19th of this month of February 2016 to have it registered. And there's other people that are going against that, still fighting that, saying that they don't want their children's information exposed in a database. And the FAA and them's response to that has still been nothing. Like they don't care. So we'll see where this goes from here. But that's where it all sits. Wanted to let folks know of this rule. And you can expect that if you're within this ring that they've set up around the Super Bowl, if you're putting anything in the air, they're going to shoot it down. And they're threatening deadly force. Really? I'll leave a link. It's been Dabu7.